listening to The Edge, everything bass fishing, coming to you worldwide from Megaware KeelGuard Studios.
And 3, 2, 1. Aaron, the fish has dropped. We're into 2022. Happy New Year, BassEdge radio listeners. Aaron, we're off to 2022 like 2021 never quit.
That's right. Happy New Year, Kurt, and Happy New Year to all of BassEdge listeners. Some fun things to talk about, some that haven't changed, like Megaware KeelGuard still being at the steering wheel of all things BassEdge. Been there since day one. Be sure to check out if you've got some remaining gift cards or monies that need to be spent, need to prepare any personal watercraft. Be sure to visit KeelGuard.com for the first do-it-yourself keel protector, the skate guard, the flex step, the battery guard. The list goes on and on, Kurt.
Yes, Aaron, it does. Great folks over there at Megaware. Aaron, let's kick this show off with some more announcements. TheOutdoorCallRadio.com.
Yes, sir. That goes back to a long-standing member of the BassEdge family, Dan Young, back in the day. For any of those that want to go back over, 300 and some episodes, Dan was actually part of this show. He runs a radio show, has for years and years. The Outdoors Dan radio show has now launched the Outdoor Call Radio, of which, happy to announce, Kurt, BassEdge Radio is the major part of their fishing, bass fishing, right, piece, because it's all things outdoors. So
nice.
They will be running a loop on that through the website, and then also that's available through all of your app stores that are out there. Be sure to check that out. Hunting, a lot of different things that's going on with that. Man,
that's great. So BassEdge listeners, be sure to check out the OutdoorCallRadio.com, and welcome to those listeners of the OutdoorCallRadio.com. So great to have some new listeners here with BassEdge. Aaron, we got another new project. We kind of kicked this off at the end of 2021, and that is MidwayUSA.com, sponsoring, partnering, happy to have them with the listener question segment.
Very happy to have them. Anytime we can give away free stuff, quality stuff to BassEdge Nation, that's a bonus. But this is a little different, Kurt. This is just money. This is dollars that you can go spend on MidwayUSA.com. If for those that haven't had the opportunity, of course they've been known forever, Kurt, right, in the hunting and the shooting sports.
Yes.
But they have made pardon the pun, a huge splash in the fishing realm for all things fishing, not just bass fishing. And if you haven't had an opportunity to check out the prices, the selection, it's really tremendous.
They do. They got it all. Be sure you check them out. MidwayUSA.com. Just about everything for shooting, hunting, and the outdoors. Easy way to win that gift card is send in those listener questions. Aaron, we talk about it a lot. You can send those in via our social media outlet or simply going to the BassEdge.com website and tapping on the Ask the Pros question. You get your question answered here on BassEdge Radio. We're going to send you a $25 gift card to MidwayUSA.com. Aaron, let's kick this show off. We're going to have a special segment here coming up. We've got a featured guest in the second segment of the show, which is not something we normally do. I think this might be a trend for 2022. Getting some more folks on BassEdge Radio, obviously letting the listeners know more of what is going on out there and available for them in the bass fishing market. So y'all stay tuned. We're going to go right to a ProtectTheHarvest.com tackle tip, and we'll be back with a special guest from ReVitalOutdoors.com. This episode's ProtectTheHarvest.com tackle tip with an MLF Pro Circuit angler, James Nickmeyer.
When it comes to choosing lures, specifically crankbait type lures in the wintertime, when it comes to like a lipless bait, like a striking red eye shad, I usually go with a 1/2 ounce size. And then sometimes I'll even downsize to a quarter. Probably 75% of the time I'll throw that 1/2 ounce, and then the other 25% I'll throw that quarter round. And that's based on years of just fishing a lot of lipless crankbaits throughout the wintertime. Seems like I just get more bites with that 1/2 ounce. And I'll go to the quarter when I'm trying to get, maybe sometimes there's some fish that are a little bit shallower, or they don't want such an overall kind of obtrusive presence in the water. So that quarter ounce, a little bit lower rattle than the 1/2 ounce, and it just kind of comes through the water a little slower and doesn't fall as fast through the water column. Sometimes they just want that a little bit more. But those are the two sizes that I'll generally fish. And as far as like a square bill in the wintertime, I actually like a striking 1.5 square bill in your kind of your crawfish pattern. most of the time when I'm in the, clear water to kind of stained, and then when it's any more than that, when it's more off color, then I might go to a 2.5. But I throw that 1.5 the majority of the time. I feel like when fishing a crankbait, that kind of 2 to 2.5 inch size, 2 3/4 inch size, it really replicates a lot of the prey items in the water at that time of year. But also, it just seems like I'm fishing more crawfish. And so crawfish generally seem to be about that particular size. And I just, over the years, have had more bites and more success with that 1.5 and that 1/2 ounce lipless crankbait in the wintertime.
Great tips, James. Brought to you by ProtectTheHarvest.com.
First by land and now by sea. For years, Lucas Oil has been a staple in high-performance vehicles on both the road and track. Now, from the makers of Lucas Oil comes Lucas Marine products, specifically engineered for marine applications. Protect and lubricate your marine inboard, outboard, or high-performance boat with Lucas Marine Engine Oil or Lucas Synthetic-Based Oil. Learn more about the complete line of Lucas Oil and marine products. Visit lucasoil.com.
Nitro Performance Bass Boats. Get pro-level performance with the Nitro Z18, the official boat of Major League Fishing. The Z18, with its nimble handling and versatility, sports many of the features in the larger boats in the line, like a Guardian live well, a heavily insulated cooler, dual 8-foot rod storage, and our smooth and fast NVT hull. Every Nitro boat is laid out to do one thing very well: catch fish. Enormous front decks, up to 45 square feet on the Z21, allow maximum mobility when battling unruly bass, and feature low-profile gunnels for ease of skipping, pitching, flipping, or landing fish. Nitro Performance Bass Boats, pure fishing machines.
Guys, it's cool to have a special guest for this segment of the show. Aaron, not something we often do, but something we're going to try more of this new year, 2022. But great to have the marketing manager from ReVital Outdoors. We chat with Theron Asbury with us. Theron, welcome to BassEdge Radio, my man.
Honored to be here. Good to be with you guys, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Theron. And I know that you are involved with ReVital Outdoors. That's essentially an outdoor-driven wellness company. Tell me and BassEdge Nation more about what type of products that ReVital Outdoor provides to anglers and really all people, not just in the outdoors.
Sure. We're a brand new company straight out of Jacksonville, Florida. And Kyle, the CEO, the owner of the company, is an outdoor enthusiast just like myself. He's big into hunting. I'm big into fishing. We provide premium CBD products to outdoor enthusiasts to help aid in their aches and sorenesses that they have on the field. Our goal is to keep those people that love the outdoors out there doing what they love to do and make more memories do it and chasing those trophies and those dreams.
Darren, we got a long relationship. You know, we met back in the day. You were fishing a lot of co-angler stuff in the FLW days, and that's kind of how we connected. Been following your career. You've worked with a couple lure manufacturers, a rod manufacturer, now, marketing manager with this pretty cool idea in this CBD company. What type of effect can an outdoors person expect from working with your products in comparison to, say, other CBD companies or specifically with this ReVital Outdoors products?
Well, that's a great question, Kurt. We have broad spectrum CBD products, meaning that we keep all the beneficial cannabinoids of the plant except for THC. So that's an often question that we get is, will I fail a drug test? Is this, going to get me high? We're a 100% worker-friendly brand, so you're not going to fail a drug test. Everything's good there. The array of cannabinoids cause and encourage effect, which is the most effective to achieve the homeostasis and the balance of your body. So you stick away from the islets, you do CBD-only products, and it helps you do that. So our oils are nano-emulsified, meaning the products are broken down extremely small, giving it the highest bioavailability on the market and the highest absorption rate to help all those outdoor enthusiasts.
Well, Theron, I noticed you recently have made some pretty big marketing partnerships with professional anglers. What can we expect from ReVital Outdoors industry support and relationships, moving forward in the angling space?
Absolutely. 2022 is going to be our year. We want to hit it as hard as we can. We're very, very fortunate to have Mark Menendez, Shaw Grigsby, Terry Bolton, Brian New, Brandon Card, Daryl Gleason, and Greg Vincent on our staff. We're going to be attending all the major trade shows this coming year. We're going to be to all the consumer shows, so see us at the Bassmaster Classic. We're looking forward forward to some other partner relationships. And we just want to hit the industry as hard as we can. We want to prove that we're here to stay. We want to give a great product to every outdoor enthusiast, whether it be hunting or fishing. You don't have to be a tournament angler to be a part of our program. We accept any and all opportunities. So we're getting people out there to represent us, and we're just a growing family, and we definitely want to be here to stay and give back to the outdoor industry as well.
Up there, and it's super cool. This CBD company's really jumped on the fishing bandwagon. Generally, a very faithful market to work with, as they generally support companies that support them. Great opportunity here for BassEdge listeners, too, to take advantage with the discount program that Theron's provided for BassEdge faithful listeners. 20% off when purchasing product from ReVital Outdoors website, which is ReVitalOutdoors.com. Just use the code BassEdge20 at the checkout. Should be cool to follow as y'all continue to work in this specialty industry of bass fishing.
Absolutely. So, yeah, any of the listeners out there, if you're curious about CBD, you don't know anything about it, you don't know about ReVital Outdoors, that's completely fine. Go to our website, as you mentioned, ReVitalOutdoors.com. You can find all the educational information about our products, about our company. And then if you want to try some of our products, if you have some inflammation problems or aches and sorenesses or anxiety, you have trouble sleeping at night, that's what our products are designed to do. Use the code BassEdge20. For first-time users, we recommend the CBD soft gels, the CBD cream, and then also the CBD gummies. So great products in there. You'll even find a dog treat in there to help with the anxiety out of a hunting dog or your favorite companion in the family.
Very cool. Very cool, Theron, man. It's been great to have you on the show. Kicking off the New Year's with a new special segment here with BassEdge. Aaron, we're going to have a lot of new little segments here in the middle of the show outside of our featured angler segments. So we're looking forward to it. Theron, it was great to have you here with ReVital Outdoors. Hang in there. We're going to roll right into the Lucas Oil Angler Spotlight. Hang tight.
This is Evergreen Pro Staff Justin Kerr.
This is MLS BPT angler Jacob Wheeler.
This is professional angler Denny Brower.
I'm BASS Elite Series Angler of the Year Seth Spider.
This is BASS Elite Series Rookie of the Year Josh Straisner on Bass Edge Radio.
You know the importance of protecting your investments, so why use anything else other than the original and toughest DIY keel protector for your boat, Megaware KeelGuard. Grinding sand, abrasive rocks, and concrete ramps are no match for our exclusive contoured edge and patented technology. Megaware KeelGuard keel protectors are made tough and made to stick. Their do-it-yourself installation takes less than an hour, providing the longest-lasting, most dependable keel protection for your boat, guaranteed for life. Developed specifically by boat builders offering the best keel protection in the industry. Also from Megaware KeelGuard, Skeg Guard, Flex Step Pro, and Pontoon Guard. So give your boat the performance edge. Put on the protection the pros pick. Megaware KeelGuard.
Kicking off the 2022 Lucas Oil Angler Spotlight with the biggest winners, Aaron, from 2021. These young anglers took home a gigantic amount of cash and merchandise for their win at the Bass Pro Shops U.S. Open. Look forward to hearing from these Auburn University anglers. Welcome to the show, Logan Parks and Tucker Smith. Logan and Tucker, great to have you here on Bass Edge Radio.
Thanks for having us on. Thank you, sir.
Well, guys, way to represent, like Kurt said, what a wild ride. I know you have spoken to just a long list of media outlets over and over about this just tremendous accomplishment for the Bass Pro US Open. Having some time now that it's settled in a bit, just got to know, what has this win done for you over the past 45 days or so? Tucker, why don't we start with you first?
Well, it really has opened up a lot of doors, and it's given us kind of that financial backing that we need to take it to the next level. And that's what me and Logan both want to do. We want to fish professionally. And I think this tournament it was meant to happen, and it was given to us. And for us to be able to win it, I think that it's truly just a blessing. And I think we're going to be able to use this to take it to the next step.
Yeah, it's
Logan,
definitely gotten our name out there to a bunch of potential sponsors and just everybody within the fishing industry. It's been pretty cool to see. Like you said, the amount of news outlets and media networks that have picked us up and talked about us. We've done a lot of interviews and just trying to make a name for ourselves at starting out early in the fishing
game is difficult enough to do. So it's been a great way to start out and kick off a professional fishing career.
With the media that you've had, Logan, do you feel like people have reached out to you specifically, like manufacturers and that kind of thing? Where I'm kind of going with this, you got the Bassmaster Classic champion or the guy that runs Red Crest. They're already obviously established. You guys, young college anglers, and manufacturers know that. Are you getting folks from inside the industry reaching out to you as far as where you're headed in the sport?
Yeah. We've had multiple manufacturers and sponsors reach out to us, and we're just kind of like weighing the options right now and deciding what we want to do.
That's super cool. It's great to see that this platform that Bass Pro Shops provided has been able to propel you guys into a stratosphere probably not typically seen in your age category and where you guys are at in college fishing. And even before that, I know that you've had a lot of success even in high school, seeing some of the interviews that have been talked about. So it's great to see this kind of progression. In all the interviews I've heard, I got a couple questions about how you went about catching your fish there at Table Rock in the championship event. But first, can you quickly break down the pattern that you used to clinch that national championship? Logan, why don't you shoot that out for us?
Yeah, so we caught all of our fish using forward-facing sonar, looking at them in real time and watching what they were doing. We found balls of bait that the fish were eating in the middle of some creek channels and then off of points and humps on the main lake. That's what we primarily targeted. We was driving around with our side scan and find these bait balls, and then we would put the trolling motor down in the water and use the forward-facing sonar to catch them. And we were throwing a little 3-inch fluke-style bait on a jig head. It's called a Damiki rig.
Tucker, when you fished, the suspended bass, and of course Logan just brought it up right there with the Damiki rig was the most effective, I guess. Did you catch any key fish on other techniques? And also, if you could elaborate a little bit, why you felt that Damiki rig was really the most productive?
We caught some on a spoon every now and then, but most of the fish that we caught were on a Damiki rig. And what makes that thing so good is we were throwing a 3/8 ounce head, and it sinks really quick, and you can catch fish in any of the water column with that bait. Just because when you're using your front-facing sonar, you can see the fish. I mean, they'll be under the bait in 10 foot, they'll be under the bait 30 foot. So you can let that bait sink down, and you can work it a lot of different ways. You can hold it and let it pendulum back to the boat, or you can swim it back to the boat, or you can drop it straight down below the boat and just twitch it, or you can just hold it still. So there's a lot of different ways you can use the bait, and you can hit fish from all different depths. So that's why we chose that bait.
Well, and I'd like for you to comment on that because, you can cast it obviously with that heavier head and with that forward-facing sonar. Did you find that the schools of fish were moving rapidly, or were they kind of just holding in one place?
They were moving around a good bit. There was like one kind of general area where we caught most of our fish, but they were constantly moving around. So you would have to stay on the trolling motor and chase them around. They were threadfin shad, so they didn't move as fast as herring, so they're kind of slower, but they were still constantly moving around, so you had to kind of stay on the trolling motor too to keep up with them.
How does that work? You got Logan, you got both of you standing up there, on the front deck. You're staring at the forward-facing sonar. You might be out there and be like, "Oh, Tucker, there's one," flip in there, And then how do you guys manage the what could be, essentially a little bit of a wildness going up there on the front deck of the boat when you're seeing those fish? Or was it just the fact that you were seeing so many fish in those bait balls that you could just kind of take your time and methodically, cast to individual fish specifically?
So, Kurt, what you're saying is you and I can't get along in the same boat, let alone standing shoulder to shoulder on the front deck. Is that what you're alluding to there?
Well, maybe not as well as these two did because they made it happen. So that's what I want to learn a little bit more because, team tournaments, Aaron and Tucker and Logan, isn't something that I'm generally fishing a whole lot. Obviously, in the college world, high school world, this is an important effort as you're coming up through the ranks, right? Until you start really going into fishing the opens and you're kind of on this individual basis. But being able to do this as a team perspective, it's definitely a little bit different. Logan, what would your comment be on that process?
Yeah, that was probably one of the most difficult challenges we had to deal with. It sure would have been nice to have two of those units.
Right.
But Like, we just stood up there side by side. Tucker ran the trolling motor because, it's his boat. And he would throw to, we kind of would alternate, unless there was a big group. Sometimes there'd be a big group of them, and you could throw multiple baits over there. But we felt like if it was a single fish, it didn't need to see but one bait, or it kind of would get spooked because of the way they were acting. They were so finicky. So we would just kind of alternate throwing to them, like alternating bed fishing or something like that, and it worked out for us.
Absolutely. Tucker, you talked, Logan just mentioned you guys were running your Triton. I believe that's what kind of boat you're running. Is that correct?
I've got a Nitro.
Oh, a Nitro. Okay, my bad. And now you got 2 Nitros.
I've actually got 3 at the moment. I'm about to have 3.
You can never have too many nitros.
That's awesome. All right, so you're running the boat around. I'm assuming you're kind of captaining the ship since it's your rig, and even though you guys are close buddies, I'm sure Logan drives the thing all over the place too. But let's say you're captaining the boat. You talk about bait fish. Some birds kind of led you to this area that produced a lot of your fish. How do you go about staying around the bait fish when the birds are not present? Or how do you go about finding these other locations that were key? You caught a couple key fish some other places, and I'm sure birds weren't everywhere, or maybe they were. Maybe it was just a freaking flock of birds all over Table Rock Lake that week. But can you break down how you actually go about finding these primary locations and what specifically you think were maybe special about them that allowed you to find the concentrations of fish needed to win the event?
Yeah, birds weren't everywhere. Wherever the birds were, there would be, the most active fish, but most of the places where we caught them were deep points, deep road beds that came across, flats. It was just really anywhere for those fish to push up bait next to deep water. And when we found those birds chasing those bait, it was in 120 foot of water.
Right.
But out there, they're just pushing the bait up. And then those birds were just coming from the top so that, that you could see where the birds were actively feeding on the bait. So it was pulled over there and caught them there. But other than that, we would just graph points and flats until you see the bait, and then you would see the fish under the bait, and you could be able to catch them. But if there was a feeding area close to deep water, that's where the bait seemed to be, and the fish were pushing the bait up there.
Very cool. It sounds like, from everything I've read about the event, from the Bull Shoals qualifier to, the Table Rock win, the success there at the final event, adaptability was critical for you guys. At Bull Shoals, you were kind of fishing more backs of creeks. What I would consider more of a, fundamental fall pattern. Right. You can read about that a lot in books and hear about it on YouTube. And I know you guys don't read as much as I did when I was a kid, just because YouTube is so awesome. Right. You can just YouTube everything. I start doing that, and I'm like building a garage off YouTube here at my house. But anyway, fundamental fall fishing there at Bull Shoals. Whereas when you came over here to Table Rock, obviously it was a little bit different with some of that deep water bait and the access that you were doing fishing primarily vertically. It sounds like a little bit of small casting out there to specific fish. But you guys being a team, fishing together last couple of years, Auburn University, both, honored becoming Bassmaster College Team of the Year. Why do you feel like this dynamic is so successful for you? Logan, what's one thing about Tucker you feel he's bringing to the game that's just like the critical point? And then I would ask the same thing to Tucker about Logan. But let's start with Logan first. What's one thing that Tucker's bringing to this dynamic duo, right, that you feel like is really important to y'all's success?
I would say, he's one of the best spotted bass fishermen I've ever met. And I would say that's, something that he's bringing to the game as well as, just he's very positive. He's always positive on the water, never gets down, never is negative, never makes any negative comments. And that's really key to success too.
Good stuff. How about you, Tucker? Talking about Logan, what's something that he brings to the table you feel like that really pushes this team process so successful for y'all?
I would say Logan's really good at figuring out smallmouth. And I would also say we always get along in the boat. We always have fun. We're not just fishing partners, but we're actually friends, which makes it a lot better and makes it more fun. And Logan's really mature, and he knows how to balance a bunch of things together. And that's what I've learned from him a lot, too, is how to balance things, like school and fishing. So that helps out.
Well, Kurt, I think that was a very good question, and Logan and Tucker really appreciate your response because Kurt and I have obviously worked together for a number of years. You put two successful anglers in the boat, it doesn't always work out that way. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it, right? Let's all face it, the four of us on this conversation and interview, we're all males, and what do males have generally is an ego that a lot of times can get in the way, right, of when it comes time to making critical decisions. And we've heard it numerous times on BassEdge. It's all about the decision making. How do you guys handle that piece or component, like when one thinks that we should run up the river and the other one might think we should go the other way? How do you resolve critical decisions like that?
We really don't think differently. I mean, if somebody has a thought about something to do, we usually both agree, and we usually are already about to say it to the other one. It's really kind of strange because just the other day, we were fishing a tournament in Georgia, and we were fishing in this creek, and we had gone out of the creek and we're fishing somewhere else, and we'd given it some time to rest because we knew there was some fish in there. And I was actually looking at the graph, thinking about going back in that creek and trying to hit it again. And Logan said, "Hey, do you want to go back in that creek and hit it again?" So, I mean, we kind of just think alike, and we make good decisions, and we fish well together. And that's really important, is to have somebody that thinks the same as you and isn't always, arguing with you, trying to do something else. You want somebody that's positive and working towards the same goal.
Logan, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say kind of the same thing. Like, we just don't ever disagree. It's pretty crazy. We always have the same ideas. And, like, whenever somebody thinks of something, the other person's like, "Oh, I was about to say that," So it just works out well.
That's awesome. Man, this has been a really, really cool interview, guys. Y'all hang in there. We're going to power pole down for a quick pause in the action. Stay tuned. Bass Edge Radio will be back in a moment.
Patented in 2000, perfected over years of testing and real-world punishment, the Power Pole is the ultimate shallow water boat positioning tool. Swift, Power Pole deploys in seconds from anywhere in your boat. Virtually silent, Power Pole won't spook wary fish. Secure in strong currents or gusting winds in up to 8 feet of water. Engineered to take it with a lifetime unconditional replacement guarantee on the spike. Power Pole, swift, silent, secure. Visit powerpole.com to find a dealer near you.
Bass Edge Radio, presented in part by Mercury Marine, returns with the Bass Pro Shops U.S. Open $1 Million champions, Logan Parks and Tucker Smith, in the Lucas Oil Angler Spotlight. That's right, Lucas Oil high-performance marine products. Be sure to visit the BassEdge.com store for all Lucas products. It works.
Guys, you mentioned it earlier. I think, Tucker, you were talking about fishing in Georgia. I was snooping on your social there. It looks like just before the Christmas holidays, y'all went out and took a top 5 there in Clarks Hill at the Clarks Hill Classic. And I got to say, you guys get around. You fish in a lot of different places. Obviously, you were on Lake Wiley before you ran over to Bull Shoals, qualified for this U.S. Open National Championship, won your $1 million, went back home to Auburn. Probably, I think, Logan, you just graduated with honors there at Auburn. And Tucker, I'm sure you were just, wrapping up some exams. So much going on. It's actually pretty amazing. What is your fundamental bass fishing approach so you can jump from event to event and continue finishing consistently very well? Tucker, why don't you take this?
I would say one of the biggest things that me and Logan are able to do is adapt, and that's something that you always have to keep in mind because we don't ever have just a set few rods and reels that we're using all around the country. We really change it up a lot, and that's something that helps a lot because you have to figure out the fish every place you go. And they're always going to be acting differently, and they're always going to be biting somewhere else at different places. So I'd say being able to figure out fish, the way that me and Logan work well together on the water and the way that we're able to break down a lake is what helps us the most. And I think fishing in Alabama is what has really helped out the most because Alabama's got the most diverse lakes probably in the whole country in one state. And it really has given us a point of view of fishing all these different places. And I think taking it around the country is what helps us the most. So I think that's probably what I would say.
Yeah. Well, Logan, you have a few months left for college eligibility on the fishing scenario, and you're about to jump into all 9 Bassmaster Opens in working to qualify the Elite Series level of competition. What do you see as some of your challenges ahead, and is it going to be different fishing for solo events in 2022?
Yeah, obviously the Opens is the one thing that is kind of new that's coming up here fishing the college stuff. So I'm excited to still be able to do that. But fishing the opens is going to be different. Or I fished one Toyota Series event. So I've fished, something similar where you're by yourself, you got a co-angler in the boat. But it'll just be interesting to fish all those opens and adapt to that kind of lifestyle and mentality, because it's definitely a lot different than having a partner in the boat with you the whole time.
Been seeing out there, when you guys talk about your team dynamics, sometimes Tucker will be out there fishing, think, I wonder what Logan would do in this position. Or Logan will be thinking, I wonder what Tucker would do in this position. You're always going to have that, like he's going to be on your shoulder there. That'll be fun to see. Tucker, I recently saw you signed a partnership with an industry manufacturer, Livingston Lures, man. Want to jump in and just kind of find out how that came about, obviously really quickly since your event win.
I've been with Livingston for a couple of years now. I think they just wanted to do an article with me after this, but I've been with them for a couple of years now, and they've been a great company. And they hopped on the bus in high school when I was in high school, so
gotcha.
They trusted in me from an early age and early on, which is really special because I have a few sponsors that jumped on in high school, and those are the people that have trusted in you since day one, and it's really cool to grow with those kind of people.
Right. And tagging back on that Livingston press release, what is your, every manufacturer's got one bait that's just your favorite. What is your favorite Livingston lure bait that you always have tied on your deck?
I'd say the Walking Boss. It's got that bait fish technology sound, so when the bait's standing still on top of the water, it's making noise like a bait fish, and I think sometimes that helps. But if you have a rainy day, that thing will be chirping on the front deck all day, so you might want to put it in the box before you get to your spot.
There you go. I like it. It's be like your hider wave, your speaker. You're running around, you're hearing your speaker all the time. You be hearing that bait. That's funny. Cool stuff. All right, couple years remaining, Tucker, with your Auburn education. When you look at where you'd like to be in the industry over the next couple years, what do you envision while still in college and trying to, work as Logan is, to progress to that next step?
I'm definitely going to be, fishing college. I'm going to, take it easy, try to travel around the country and learn as much about new water as I can. There's so many places that we've been to this past year that I've never been to before, and they're so different, and they, the fish act so different at different places around the country. And I think getting that exposure around, and then I'm actually fishing the Southern Opens this year, so that's going to be fun. I'm going to mix that with college, and I know Logan doesn't have to worry about school now. I'm still going to have to worry about school, but I'm going to try to mix those and probably put in a few more opens each year through college. And then when college is over, if I haven't qualified yet, I'll go full force open. So
very cool.
Exciting stuff. All right. Well, Tucker and Logan, I know you guys don't know me that well, but I know that Kurt has known me for a long time, and other BassEdge listeners. I'm kind of the guy that's willing to ask what everybody else is thinking. So I'm just going to throw this question out there. What was the big splurge purchase for each of you with your half of the winnings of the $500,000 a piece? And you surely bought something you normally wouldn't, right? Logan, why don't you jump on that one?
Hey, and you guys should know that Aaron's a financial advisor, by the way. Exactly. It's a part-time job, so just FYI. Right. But so be careful what you answer here. He might look down upon you a little bit. No, I'm just teasing.
I actually I bought a new truck, even though we won one, because I actually got back from the tournament and somebody hit me in my current truck and totaled. Yeah, and those new Tundras, we won't have those for the next 5 months, so I had to get something. So I bought a Duramax because I've always wanted a diesel, and why not?
How about you, Tucker?
I actually bought a new boat yesterday. I know it's kind of weird to say I'm only 20 years old, but yeah, I'd ordered a new boat before we went to this tournament. So I'd already had my black nitro, and I had ordered a gray one, and the gray one just came in. So I paid for that one once it got here. So I've got it at my house and left the black one at the shop. And then I'm going to buy a new truck today too. I've had it ordered for a while, so it's about to be here, and it's a diesel as well. So I'm excited for that. And it's really the first two big purchases I can say that I bought myself, and it kind of feels good not having Daddy buy it. So
yeah. Well, congratulations to both of you on that. That's fantastic. And I got to ask, Tucker, did you get the 21XL on the nitro? Is that what you went with?
Yes, sir. This one, the gray one right now, is a 20. But the new one that we want is going to be a 21 XL that I'm going to run around for the Opens.
Yeah,
so.
You're going to love it. You're going to love it.
It sounds like to me. It sounds like to me you guys are going to have a big yard sale.
Well, I was also thinking maybe you guys, they make a show called Buried Alive with hoarders. It sounds to me like you guys might have a boat and a truck problem, but I'm not. Judgment-free zone here.
That is so cool, man. That's a great problem to have. I think that you guys could open a used boat car dealership right now and probably be pretty successful with that as well. All right, guys. Well, man, it's been a fun interview. We actually have a listener question. This is brought to us by Nitro Performance Bass Boats. And Tom Ryan from St. Louis, Missouri asks this question. And Logan, I'm going to go ahead and get you and Tucker to kind of tackle this together. But Logan, if you want to start it off, and then Tucker, you can kind of follow up some tips for Tom. Tom wants to know, what is your go-to setup for fishing small swim baits in the wintertime?
Small swim baits, definitely gonna want a bigger reel, like a size 30. Abu Garcia, I got an Abu Garcia Revo S, it's actually the Revo X, in the size 30, so you can cast them really far, because a lot of times you've got like a lighter head. I'm going as light braid as possible so I can get the castability to like 8-pound braid, and then a longer rod like the 7.6 Abu Garcia winch rod. It's a great spin rod. It loads up really nice, and you got that extra length just to cast those small swim baits as far as possible, because long casts are important when you're throwing that little swim bait, especially with using forward facing sonar and stuff.
Tucker, you want to follow up on that? You guys generally using some fluorocarbon leader on that, and how do you match that up? 8-pound braid, obviously super thin. I think it's probably like 2-pound test equivalent. Some folks have a little issues, tying those smaller diameter lines together. Tucker, if you could kind of take that, what size fluorocarbon leader, and then how do you connect those two together?
Like Logan was saying, I like, bigger spin reel, longer rod. I like 15-pound braid to like a 10-pound leader.
Okay.
But I know Logan likes using lighter stuff, and it probably casts better. But when I tie them together, Logan actually taught me the knot. I don't know what it's called. What's it called, Logan?
The 7 twist up down knot. I don't know.
It's a Parks
the
knot.
Logan Parks knot, I guess.
Yeah, there you go.
But the FG, I knew Aaron Marks for a long time, and he told me the FG was the best. And it's a hard knot to learn, but if you can learn the FG knot, you're not going to have any problems, because the knot strength is 100% as strong as the line, so you're not going to break at the knot. So that's probably the best knot. And then I'd say 10-pound leader or an 8-pound leader of fluorocarbon, and then whatever swim bait head you like. So a 3/8 ounce is really good if you want to fish deeper, but I'd say a 1/4 ounce is the best all around size.
Great stuff, guys.
That is good stuff. Thanks for answering Tom's wintertime swim bait question. And Tom, we appreciate you listening to the show and sending that in. But we need one more thing from you, and that is to simply log on to BassEdge.com, click the Claim Your Prize tab, fill out the information, and let us know that you heard the $1 million winners, Tucker Smith and Logan Parks, answer your question right here on Bass Edge. And we will send out that free cash Midway USA gift certificate that you can spend on anything concerning shooting, hunting, and the outdoors.
Continue to remind our Bass Edge listeners, keep firing in those questions. We'll keep sending you those Midway USA gift certificates right here from Bass Edge Radio. Simply log on to the website, click the Ask the Pros tab, or just follow us up on our social media pages on Facebook and Instagram.
Guys, thanks again for carving out time. I know the requests and the demands on your schedule have been quite a lot, but before we close down, Tucker, do you have any thoughts for Bass Edge listeners?
I would say that y'all do a great job with the podcast, and I'd say hop on if you have time. And I really enjoyed having this talk with you guys, so thank you for having us.
You bet, Tucker. Logan, how about you as we head off into 2022? Any final thoughts for today?
Yeah, if there's anyone out there listening that's just getting started in fishing, or a young kid that wants to grow up and fish in college one day and take it professionally, man, chase your dreams. If you'd have told me that we were going to win a tournament like this 10 years ago, I would have told you were crazy. So don't stop pushing, man.
Outstanding, man. Excellent advice. Congratulations to you guys again. Thanks for being with us here. It's just really been a great interview. Bass Edge Nation, y'all hold on right here. Aaron and I will return after this message with some closing thoughts.
You know the importance of protecting your investments, so why use anything else other than the original and toughest DIY keel protector for your boat, Megaware KeelGuard. Grinding sand, abrasive rocks, and concrete ramps are no match for our exclusive contoured edge and patented technology. Megaware KeelGuard keel protectors are made tough and made to stick. Their do-it-yourself installation takes less than an hour, providing the longest-lasting, most dependable keel protection for your boat, guaranteed for life. Developed specifically by boat builders offering the best keel protection in the industry. Also from Megaware KeelGuard, Skeg Guard, Flex Step Pro, and Pontoon Guard. So give your boat the performance edge. Put on the protection the pros pick. Megaware KeelGuard.
The PowerPole Charge Marine Power Management Station is the most advanced system of its kind available on the market. It does the work of 3 devices, a traditional battery charger, a charge on the run, and an emergency start system, all in one compact unit. The Charge lets you run your boat's accessories the way you want to run them by allowing you to monitor and control your power usage through the PowerPole app. It automatically devotes power to the batteries that need it the most for maximum efficiency. The new Charge from PowerPole. Power where you need it, power how you need it, power when you need it.
Kurt, I think the last time we had a $1 million winner on Bass Edge Radio was the days of Scott Suggs back in, man, I don't even know what year that was. It was maybe before internet. Who knows?
Yeah, Scott Suggs won $1 million. Michael Bennett won $1 million.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we had him on too. But yeah, man, I'm digging deep in the files, and maybe those are the only 2. I don't recall, but dude, it's been a long time. I know that. Congrats to these 2. Logan Parks, Tucker Smith, $1 million plus. Each of them won a Toyota truck and a freaking nitro boat. Dude, add it all up, dude, you're looking at what, 1.25, 1.2 mil?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Unbelievable. Dude, and what a great interview. You know, as we're working through this interview process and talking to Logan and Tucker, I realized obviously what a tremendous friendship they must have. Because as team partners, dude, this isn't what's just like a standalone couple of events that they went and fished together and went and qualified at Bull Shoals and then went and jumped in, you know, at the U.S. Open Championship, you know, there at Table Rock. Dude, these guys have been fishing together for years, you know, several years. Tucker's, you know, just finishing up his sophomore year there at Auburn. Logan just graduated. So at the very least, you know, they've been fishing together for 2 years there at Auburn. And Logan actually recruited Tucker to come to Auburn so that they could fish together. I think Logan was like, yeah, Tucker would be a good guy. You know, he's kind of like almost like a college recruiter, right? He's like, dude, it'd be cool if I could fish with my buddy Tucker, if I can just get him to come to Auburn. And then all this madness happens. They become team of the year, you know, Bassmaster College Fishing's team of the year. Auburn University, just phenomenal school from a bass fishing perspective and what they've done. Take it all the way back to the Jordan Lee, Matt Lee. And I know I'm missing others. I got a great friend, Brady Harp, that fishes for Auburn as well. So,
it was a great interview, Kurt, but I think the other thing that, like you said, that kind of evolved as the interview took place is, and perhaps maybe we should explore on future episodes, people don't understand. So it's like, you know, take Rhonda, your wife, and Diana, mine.
Yeah.
Our marriage has survived 30 whatever years it's been because I travel a lot and I get out of her space sometimes and vice versa. And I don't mean that negative. I'm just saying reality. But a bass fishing team partnership that works at a high level, stuff gets real very quick in that 21 feet of length of boats that most people have when you're making decisions and
money's on the line.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, that might be something that we should explore, but
absolutely,
we'll give that some consideration. But in the meantime, we need to shut it down. Just want to remind everyone, take that opportunity, check out ReVitalOutdoors.com. You know, they're throwing out that 20% off your purchase by just using that code BassEdge20. Again, that's ReVitalOutdoors.com. But in the meantime, Kurt and I look forward to the January 15th episode where we're going to have another extremely interesting interview to talk about maybe some things that Kurt might be be a little against the norm, kind of like this one is. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see how that.
Yeah. It's
develops.
gonna be exciting. We're up for some really good shows here. So just putting in some extra time. Love all the shows that we do, obviously with BassEdge, and all of them archived. You can go back and listen to the last 366 episodes right there on the website. But we're gonna put together some awesome content in 2022. So BassEdge Nation, y'all be ready. It's a new year. We're fired up. Appreciate you being here with BassEdge Radio. Stay tuned. You're going to love this.
All right. Kill switches attached, life vested, buckled, and zipped, and we are out of here. For Kurt Dove, I am Aaron Martin, and the rest of the BassEdge crew. Have a wonderful couple weeks. We will see you on the other side. So long, everybody.
Is presented by Megaware KeelGuard. For more information on BassEdge or to shop at the BassEdge online store, visit BassEdge.com. And be sure to join Kurt Dove and Aaron Martin right here on another episode of The Edge. Brought to you in part by Nitro Boats, Lucas Oil, ProtectTheHarvest.com, Midway USA, Mercury Marine, PowerPole, and Transport Graphics.